on you. It's time to rise. The Raunchy Morning Show is here to energize. Good morning, y'all. Grab your coffee and smile. Ron G's got the tunes to make life worthwhile. From the latest hits to stories that inspire, WSAN radio sets your soul on fire. Start your day with the beat, feel the groove. Ron G's got the vibe to make you move. With laughter and love, we're here to stay. WSAN radio, your morning getaway. Wake up, let the rhythm flow. With the Ron G Morning Show. From the heart of Texas, we're ready to shine. WSAN Radio, it's your time. News, interviews, and the songs you love. Ron G's voice lifts you high above. From San Antonio streets to the world beyond. Zion Radio, the sound you'll always find. Feel the energy, let it carry you through. Ron G's got the magic to make dreams true. Turn the dial, join the family. Zian's your morning destiny. Wake up, let the rhythm flow. With the Ron G Morning Show. From the heart of Texas, we're ready to shine. WSAN Radio, it's your time. With Ron G, your show. San Antonio, let the music play. The Ron G Morning Show makes your day.
I got my man Jeff on right here. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, doing good. I'm just sitting here just messing with the young folks. I have nothing else better to do this morning. I want to compare the baby boomers to right now. The way things were back in the days, nobody had a computer. Nobody had cell phones. Lord knows nobody had pagers. So I am really dating myself. But nowadays, everything is right at our fingertips. You know, if you lose this device somewhere, oh, you might as well forget it. It's a done deal. You know, back it up, do all that stuff. But anyway, let me get off these young people because they're going to get on my last nerve this morning. So good morning, sir. So how you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It's been another beautiful day, staying busy.
Yeah. I appreciate taking out your busy schedule. This man right here, I was introduced to him by my daughter, and we started talking about some stuff, and I was interested what he was talking about. At that time, I was digging into AI, and I didn't know too much about AI, except just AI, or some people call it AL. But it's AI, and I didn't know that much about it. And he turned me on to this one program. I got on it. Lord knows I couldn't figure that program out to save my life. So he came over and rescued me and said, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And I started doing that, started doing other things with it. Lord behold, in about 2 weeks, I was a master at it. I started messing around with it, and this is the future. So I remember that question you asked me. So where you want to be next year? I said, I will be entrenched with AI and have it do things for me. And I found out a lot of people are scared of AI, but I embraced it. I'm probably one of the few baby boomers that would embrace new technology. And I love what it did. It cut my commercial time down in 3/4. I could brag. It takes me 3 hours sometimes to do a 30-second spot because I'm voicing it. I'm messing it up and all that. But now I can put together a 30-second spot in 20 minutes. I'm talking about from writing it to get it voiced, put the music to it, and ready to go. Now that's what I like. See, that's how you mess around with technology and favor yourself. So what it's doing for me is I got more time to do nothing. So tell us a little bit more about yourself, and we'll get into your business in a few, but I want to dab on AI. Where do you see AI going this year?
It's a good question. By the way, I'm Jephthah to your audience. I'm the founder and CEO of Playgrounds Analytics, and we are essentially an AI and data company. We develop open source AI framework to develop applications that helps the everyday users, like Ronald here with what he's working on in his radio station. When it comes to I think that we're going to see this year a few things. First of all, more proliferations in the everyday lives of the common users. So accountants, me, you, I think that we're going to see a lot more AI-driven applications that is geared towards making our lives a little easier. The tedious, monotonous tasks will be automated even more. I think we're going to see a new rise of experts and a new type of work that comes out of this, which reminds me of something you just mentioned a few moments ago, that you now have a lot of free time on your hands. The way I see things moving forward is as automation with AI essentially starts being utilized in everyday work, people will start having more free time, but actually that would convert to a new type of job. I think we're going to see a lot more people have time to be creative, and also more managers essentially. Because if you can treat this AI agent as knowledge workers who can perform the task, the tedious task that you normally have to do, all you really have to do in this point is be creative on how you can orchestrate what they need to do and manage and observe the performance and fine tune, kind of like managing a team of employees. In this case, most people will be managing teams of AI agents operating on their behalf. I think that's what we're going to see this year. And also, I think we're going to see uh, acceleration in the intelligence of these models. They're pretty smart right now, but towards the end of this year, I think most people will be surprised at the advanced models, these AI models that will be released from the different model providers, which would also add more to the automation and what we can do with these systems.
So we had a scare, I'm gonna say a scare a few weeks ago when China introduced something out there. Everybody's jaw
Mm.
just dropped. Um, it was like pennies on the dollar for getting it. And I worked with it a little bit, but it was still in its learning stage. From some of the AI programs I use right now, I could type certain things in, and it come up and give me everything. Their new AI was wasn't up to date too much of everything. Would that just be a matter of time, wouldn't it?
Yes, yes. So, it's called DeepSeek, and it's currently one of the most advanced models in the market today, right after OpenAI's O1 models or O1 reasoning models. And so these models are specifically trained to reason like humans do. You ask them a question and you provide them a prompt. Prior to these reasoning models, we had models that would essentially ingest your prompts or your information and then spit out a response based on their training data, or connect to some tools so they can browse the web. In this case, these reasoning models, they do the same thing, but there's another step between them taking your information and providing a response. They think almost like how humans do. So they consider your question, they think about what you're really trying to get at. Sometimes they ask follow-up questions to better understand what you're trying to do, and then decide if they need to query the web or use a tool to answer questions. So we're seeing the first versions of these reasoning models out here, but I think that in the next few months to the rest of the year, we're going to see a much more advancement in these reasoning models, which will be breathtaking, in my opinion.
So let me ask you something about AI. Once you ask them to find some information on something, they go through all the databases out there and everything. Is there a chance they get into the wrong thing, like criminal history or stuff that's not supposed to be reported, and they find that and they put it out there? Is there a danger of that happening?
There is a risk for sure, and it comes in two main forms. The first is if this information is publicly available at the time of training the model. So when I talk about training, what I mean is the foundation models that underlie these applications, is like GPT, Llama 3, for example, they're trained on massive, when I say massive, hundreds of billions of texts that are available publicly on the web, in books, resources, databases. As long as it's publicly available, there's a high chance it's been used to train the model. So I understand the world itself. So if it's already available, chances are that you can probably surface that through interfacing with these AI systems. The second of all is if it wasn't available at training, and somehow the data is available through some API or some website, and then you prompt the AI system to search these resources, as long as they're publicly available, there's a high chance it'll return that information to you. Where you mitigate this risk is whether on the training level, you then essentially do some pruning, and you can essentially put guardrails to say, okay, for this type of sensitive information, you are not allowed to produce a response on it, right? And so we see stuff like this with, if you ask the AI or like ChatGPT as an example, teach me how to do something, then like steal a car or make like a weapon or something, it will refuse to provide you with the response, because this is where we talk about alignment with human values and what we're sensitive with. It refused to provide that response because it's dangerous, right? Um, Alternatively, you can essentially ground your own application and say, in the event there's a sensitive information about some criminal record or something, sidestep that and avoid that, right? And so the risk is there, but there are ways to mitigate these risks as well.
So, what are some of the misconceptions that people, well, I brought up in the beginning about AI because people are scared of change and
Mm-hmm.
they're also scared AI going to take over their job. But I
Mm,
talked to several people said, you got somebody in that office to do, it's not going to take over all the jobs.
mhm, mhm.
It's going to enhance it. It's going to make you be better at what you're doing. So what can you tell people not to be scared of? And my deal is, why are they scared? I think it's change. And I think
Yeah.
they're scared because it may take their job,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah. I think, there most people, humans really are afraid of new things, and what you don't fully understand generally comes with fear. And the fact that it is proven that these systems can automate a lot of the tedious work that a lot of us have to do. If it has to do with knowledge management, if you're dealing with language, document processing, accounting, coding, there's a high chance that an AI system can do it much more efficiently than you can, right? And so the question becomes, well, if my employer figures out that they can do it better with managing our database or managing some text is more efficient with just using an AI system, what's left for me? That goes back to my prior comments. But what's left for you is creativity on how to manage these systems, and becoming more of a delegator versus being on the ground level, doing these tasks by yourselves. There's a research that was released by Goldman Sachs about, I think, last year, that predicts that there'll be about 300 million jobs worldwide that will be affected by AI systems. And that might sound pretty scary, but with the automations of these tedious jobs, I do believe there will be a new emergence of new kinds of jobs, and that's what I'm really excited about as well. Um, Another thing that people are generally afraid of is, what exactly, what are the benefits? Is this really something that behaves like a human? How does this affect society in general? How does this affect how we interact with each other? And I like to see things from the positive side. First of all, I think that in the end, AI are just tools, right? In the same way we have the internet that allows us to access vast amounts of information really quickly, you can see these AI systems as just tools that have intelligence that mimics humans in a way. So things from information democratization. Imagine not knowing how to do something and having your own private personal AI tutor that's designed specifically for you and how you learn. Imagine not knowing how to speak a language and having an AI system that can teach you how to speak a language. Or for you yourself, Ronald, right? Like, you manage your own entire station, but having an AI system that can help reduce the load so you can have more time to do meaningful tasks and work on the vision of your businesses. I think that that's how most people should be looking at these systems, as tools that can make their lives a little bit better.
Yeah. I know AI is responsible for this. Um, for the earplugs you have in. that somebody
Yeah.
could get another language, and when they talk to you, it comes right back in English for you, or vice versa, whether it's Spanish or what other language it is. And so many people are getting in trouble because now they start to see in a different language when they talking about you. It was something that was on. I was reading somewhere and seen it. This guy said he had on these earplugs, and they banned him from the restaurant because they were talking bad about him, and he understood all that. But
Yeah.
on the flip side, when you go visit a foreign country, no more do you have to have this deal out trying to decipher the words. They could talk to you and it's in English. You
Real
can
time.
to them, it comes back as real time. Now,
Yeah.
AI is responsible for that. Also, I want to say everybody doesn't know AI been out here for a long time. It's been out here and it's just now becoming more visible now, but it has been
Yes.
out here for a while. I've been using AI. I didn't know I was using AI because I'm a photographer and I take pictures and I go through a three-step process. I do not use that Adobe anymore. That Adobe was time consuming and
Mhm.
doing this, doing that. I got some tools with AI that does everything for it that I needed to do. And I just love it. You know,
Yeah.
I, I embrace AI.
Yeah, I think that's a very strong point. We've machine learning and AI algorithms have been embedded in our day-to-day prior to the advent of large language models, which is the subset of AI that allows you to chat, like ChatGPT, for example. Your Netflix, the recommendations, is all AI driven. How Amazon recommends the next best product for you to buy or the product that best suits your needs. That's all AI driven. That's been used for quite a while. The shift here, the paradigm shift is, these were back-end AI-driven services that just essentially perform this classification and workflows for you on your behalf for consumers. The paradigm shift here is the advent of large language models, which is a subset of AI that is specialized in the domain of language and language processing. So they've been trained on a massive amount of text. They have a textual representation of the world, and the way to interface with them is through this simple chat interface. And so the value becomes a lot more apparent because of this, where you can use ChatGPT and you're suddenly like, wait a second, this actually makes sense. I can see how I can use this on a day to day. That's the paradigm here. It's the advent of large language models and what it allows us to do as a civilization.
Which brings us to this point. Now we're going to get into the nitty gritty right now. Let's talk about your company. I am ecstatic on the things that you are bringing forward. You're bringing some type of technology now that, how can well, I'll let you label it because the way I'm looking at anybody could get in this program because it's open source. They could put how can I put their own AI in there or their own product? I explain to everybody before I mess it up.
Yeah, no worries. So we create a library called Rig, and the best way to think about Rig is it's like a bag of it's like a Lego, it's a bag of Lego blocks that allows you to construct whatever type of AI application or agent that you need for your workflow, right, or your business. So for example, using the Rig library, you can construct an AI application that can summarize your emails for you, or you can construct an AI application that can, read a bunch of news feeds and extract the main points for that and then pass it on to you as well. Or something a lot more, tedious, like doing like churning through your entire database, extracting the data and generating reports for the different people in your businesses, or providing customer services to your customers for whatever product you have. You can construct the agent and say, okay, I need an agent that can be on my website. It has a chat interface. It understands my business and our services that we offer. And I need a way for this agent or this AI agent to receive questions and information from the user and then provide a response that's meaningful to them, right? Or if you're a legal, clerk or you're a lawyer yourself, you need an agent that can churn through massive volumes of legal documents or past cases and find you the most relevant one for whatever case you're working on. And the use cases go on and on and on. The main point is our library provides abstractions, or I call them Lego blocks, that allows you to construct these custom AI applications for your specific need. And this is basically how we're trying to democratize access to AI applications, so anyone can build whatever application that they need for their day-to-day work or their business.
Wow, and that what that takes away of everybody putting stuff in the computer and coming out with like you said, everything. Okay, what have we done? So AI would take everything that a human used to do that was time consuming, to bring out spreadsheets and all that stuff. All you do is let them know and they would put it together. Is that
Essentially, essentially, yeah. So the library provides a ton of plugins and interfaces to platforms and systems that you are already familiar with, right? Whether it's your Google Calendar, whether it's some video streaming service, whether it's your Gmail, your Google Drive, your database, knowledge base, what you name it, there's more than likely a plugin that we've provided that allows you to say, all right, cool, for my job or my work or whatever it is I want to do, I normally have to interface with Gmail or Twitter or whatever. I want to take that plugin and I want to use this particular AI model that has reasoning or whatever the specialization is, attach that to it, and then I want to define the scope of what I want this AI to do with the information that I've plugged it into. And then from there you can deploy it, and now you have an agent that operates within the scopes that you've defined. And so that's our goal here is to provide as much interfaces to the platforms and services that the everyday user is already familiar with, and just introduce intelligence into it. Introduce intelligence into your Excel spreadsheet. So rather than just working on the columns and the row, you can have a conversation with your Excel spreadsheet. You can ask the AI to format things, to generate reports. That's the goal here.
okay? So somebody like me don't have a clue about rig and open source. How would you explain to, in layman terms, somebody like me that don't know anything about it, will I be able to benefit from that? Or do I need to have somebody who knows something about it that can help me out?
Okay. So for in layman terms, it's essentially it's a software package that provides a bunch of code that's pre-written for you that you can chain to do what you need it to do. So rather than writing code from scratch, you can essentially go to the repo. You can either start with finding an example that closely relates to what you're trying to accomplish. And then you can read the documentation that says, okay, if you want to expand this example, expand this use case, here's how to do so, right? There is a requirement of knowing how to write code for now, but our goal is, over the next few months and year, we'll provide a no code interface for you to use the rig library on the back end without ever writing a line of code, essentially a drag and drop point and click system. But the current state of the library right now is you do need some understanding of software and how to write code to construct these agents for yourself.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because when I first started doing building web pages, we had to do code.
Yeah, yeah,
So and then front page came out, made it easier. Then Dreamweaver came out, made it much
exactly.
easier. It's basically AI is doing the same thing we did with doing web pages back then. We had to do everything by code. We had to
Yeah,
and make the frames. We had to do
yes.
all of that in order to get it
Hmm.
going.
Hmm.
And then front page came out and sort of just caught everybody by storm. Everybody and their
Yeah.
mama used front page. Then Dreamweaver came out, and it was something else. And the coding was still in there, but it was almost like
Yes.
just
Abstracted
writing
away.
something. It just you type in, boom, boom, boom. That's it.
Hmm.
So
Yes,
so
that's the
how
goal.
how could somebody like me? I have my radio station, and I want to start doing some stuff that would take things off my hand, like, all right, already using voiceover, voice to text. and all that. How would somebody like me utilize your new program? How will I be able to utilize that would benefit me?
Yeah. I think the first step would be, defining what exactly it is you're trying to accomplish here to ascertain if the library is actually the right tool for your goal, right? So in your case, you're dealing with a lot of audio files, you're dealing with a lot of system management. You want to make sure that, there's timing between when you're making announcements or managing some of the posts that you already have. So in this case, let's come up with an example here. Let's say you need to organize your schedule a little bit more efficiently for your radio station. Okay, that's a well-defined goal. You need to organize a set of parameters and dates and times, and then have the actual, programs put that's fully automated by AI. Okay, cool. In this case, then you would go to the rig library, you would download it or add it to your programming environment. And then from there, you'll be able to essentially start with, okay, I need to interface with whatever repository or database stores my schedule of programs, the times for all the programs, and everything else that's text-based, right? How you schedule everything currently. You plug into that. Then the next step is I need to then tell the AI what I need it to do with this information. In this case, it's like writing a prompt to ChatGPT. But in this case, we call it a preamble. This is essentially programming the mind of the AI model to know what to do. You say, all right, you are my radio station assistant. You are to do X, Y, and Z with the data I've provided you. You're to produce this particular type of schedule every day or however you want to define that. And then from there, you essentially, we call it a build. You build the agent, which collects the information, the API, it calls that a tool, the model itself, your prompt or preamble. It's packaged into an AI agent. You deploy it, which means basically you generate the actual agent ready for use. And then you can start interacting or working with the agent that you've created to create the schedule. So in this case, say, hey, generate me a new schedule for next week. I'm going to be on vacation. It needs to have this program here, this program there. And then the agent will essentially take your request, use the data and access to your database to generate the new schedule, and then return that to you as well. So that's just a very simple or a simplistic bird's eye view of what you could do with Rig, and how we're trying to make it easy for anyone to build custom applications that's powered by AI.
Wow, that's some deep stuff. Somebody just sent, I guess we got somebody listening. Quite a few people listening. They're asking about open source.
Mhm.
Um, Here it is. If your product is an open source, how is that profitable for you?
Mm. It's a very good question. So there's multiple ways that we approach this. The first is we provide extensions and additional tools and plugins on top of the library that are paid for through API services. So you can do anything you want to do with this library, right? You can build whatever application you want to. But let's say that you experience certain limitations or you have certain specific custom implementations that are not easy to do with the library, then we provide those services to build out these custom implementations. We also provide knowledge management and data packaging. So in this case, there's a lot of unstructured data out there. There's a lot of businesses have, all kinds of information about their business, their operations, finances, accounting, legal stuff that's scattered and in different formats. PDF here, Excel spreadsheet here, Google Doc here. Some things are just written on a notepad somewhere. We provide a knowledge management service that allows you to essentially consume all of the relevant information that's relevant to your business or your use case and package that in a way that is easily consumable by an AI system. And so through the API for that, we charge for that service as well. And also we're VC backed. So, we have a wonderful group of investors who are essentially helping keep the business running while we build out this vision of creating open source tools so that AI is accessible to everyone. And we have several other plans of in the next few months, we're releasing an app store that's specific, or you can call it a marketplace that is specific for AI type applications. So think of it like your iOS Apple App Store, but for agent services. And in this case, customers would essentially pay a small fee to use this agent. So in this case, you can go to the App Store and say, I don't want to build my own agent. I just want to find an agent that can do X for me. Oh, it's right there on the App Store. I just have to pay a small fee to access this agent. That's currently being built, and it should be ready by Q2, early Q3 of this year.
Okay. Man, see, that's up my alley. I just embrace this technology because I love it. I mean, I'm having a field day with it right now. I really don't know what to say about it. I just hope that people will bite into it and quit being so standoffish from it. Just get into it because just like with everything changed with technology from the 50s to now, there's been so many changes that's been going on, and there have been people that say, I'm not going to do that. I think that's the dumbest thing in their life and all that. And then they find out they left behind, they looking back, trying to figure out, why did I do this when it happened? It's always somebody saying, why shouldn't I? Last question. Let me see. Let me see if I get it right. Oh, I just had it here. Oh, here it is. I'm listening to everything you're saying. When would all this be available, and how can I get in contact, or is there a website or anything I could go to?
Yeah. So the rig library is already available. It's been live for about a year, going to a year and a half now, actually. And so to access the rig library, you can essentially search for rig. You can say rig open source AI library, and we should be the first result that's returned. I'll also send you, Ronald, the links to the resources so you can share with your community as well. Or you can just go to the website rig.rs. And then from there, you should be able to get more information on the rig library itself. To get in contact with us, we do have our Twitter and Discord links on the website. And you can reach out to us as well, or reach out to Ronald, who would reach out to me as well, if you want to go down that route.
Okay. Well, Jeff, I appreciate you coming on this morning. I was trying to get him a couple weeks ago, but I gave him a heads up when, and I said, you let me know when you're ready. That's what I said. You let me know when you're ready, and we get it on. So this is something we're gonna do every Tuesday. It's called Tech Tuesday. And it's just everybody know what's going on. 'Cause I want everybody to be informed of what's happening, and because I'm sorry, y'all. If you let this pass you by, you will regret it 5 or 6 years from now. I'm letting you know, get into it right now because it's important.
Thank you.
All
Yeah,
right.
really
Well,
excited.
appreciate you being on, sir. And
Thank you.
have fun the rest of the day. I got 2 more things to do today, and it's thunder and lightning over here.
Oh man,
And
yeah.
I'm
It
looking,
was
I said flash of light, and I thought somebody was taking my picture.
it was really nice talking to you, and looking forward to our next chat.
All right, talk to you later.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for tuning in to WSAN Radio. Catch us on our YouTube channel, WSAN Radio SA. Subscribe to our channel and hit that notification button.